A rich man stepped out of his luxury car and walked into a high-end restaurant. As he approached the entrance, he saw a poor beggar sitting on the sidewalk. The man's clothes were torn, his hands were shaking, and his eyes were filled with exhaustion. "Please, sir, just some food," the beggar whispered, barely able to lift his head. The rich man looked at him for a moment. Then, without a word, he walked inside. Inside, the restaurant was filled with the scent of expensive dishes. The rich man sat at a table surrounded by other well-dressed people laughing and enjoying their meals. He ordered the finest steak, a glass of aged wine, and a luxurious dessert. Outside, the beggar remained seated. His stomach growled, but he was used to the pain. People passed by, some giving him disgusted looks, others pretending he didn't exist. Minutes later, a waiter stepped out of the restaurant and handed the beggar a small bag. "That man inside told me to give you this." The beggar's eyes widened. He opened the bag and saw leftovers, a half-eaten piece of bread, some scraps of meat, cold, dry rice. For a moment he felt grateful. Food was food. But as he took a bite, something inside him ached. He looked through the restaurant window and saw the rich man enjoying a fresh, steaming meal. A thought entered his mind. Why does the world work like this? Why do some have so much while others have nothing? Days passed. The beggar continued to sit at the same spot, receiving spare coins, half-eaten food, and empty stares. One evening, the rich man walked by again. This time, the beggar didn't ask for food. He simply watched. The rich man suddenly stopped, looking tired, stressed. He sighed heavily, rubbing his temples. The beggar hesitated, then spoke. "Sir, is something wrong?" The rich man scoffed. "Why would you care?" "I don't know. You seem unhappy." The rich man chuckled bitterly. "I have a business to run, employees to manage, investors to satisfy. I don't have time to be unhappy." The beggar nodded slowly. "I used to have worries too, before I lost everything." For the first time, the rich man truly looked at him. "You had a life before this." The beggar smiled sadly. "Once, I had a home, a family, a business. But I made bad decisions, trusted the wrong people, and lost it all. Now people don't see me as a person anymore, just a burden on the street." The rich man was silent. Then the beggar asked, "Can I tell you something?" The rich man nodded. The beggar spoke softly. "You think you're rich because you have money. But true wealth isn't in your bank account. It's in your peace of mind. It's in how you sleep at night, how you treat others, how much love you have in your life. If your mind is full of stress, worries, and fear, then you're no richer than me." The rich man looked down. For years, he had chased success. He had built an empire, but he had also lost friends, sacrificed time with family, and lived in constant pressure. The beggar continued. "Money can buy food but not an appetite, a bed but not sleep, a house but not a home. Wealth isn't about how much you have, it's about how you live." The rich man felt a strange weight in his chest. "So, what do I do?" The beggar smiled. "Live, really live. Help others. Share kindness. Find joy in simple things. Otherwise, you might wake up one day and realize you have everything except happiness." The rich man stood there, deep in thought. A week later, the beggar was still in his usual spot. But something had changed. One afternoon, a man walked up to him and placed a fresh, warm meal beside him. The beggar looked up, shocked. It was the rich man. This time, he didn't just leave food. He sat down next to the beggar. For the first time, they shared a meal, not as a rich man and a beggar, but as two human beings. The beggar smiled. The rich man smiled back. And for the first time in a long time, they both felt truly rich. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. True wealth isn't measured by money, but by kindness, peace, and the relationships we build. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. What is real wealth to you? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more inspiring stories that change perspectives.